So hello everyone, this is the Sports Show podcast, and today we're joined with Gary Cully. How are you, mate?
How are you, pal? I'm good. Yeah, you?
Yep. I'm all good, mate. Thank you. So we'll just get straight into it. What got you started in the boxing?
My brother used to box. I always used to fight out on the road and stuff when I was a kid playing in the estate, and then my brother used to box, and it took me ages to find out where he was going. My mum wouldn't tell me where he was going. We were very close, like, and then I eventually found out, and ended up just coming to the boxing club with him one day, and I've been there ever since.
Yeah, yeah. And you represented your country actually at about 16 or 17, didn't you? At the European
Yeah,
Games, you brought home gold as well. How'd that feel?
I did. I did. I had my first fight for Ireland. I think I was 15. I fought against Scotland in an Ireland versus Scotland international, and yeah, from then I won a couple of more Irish titles and went to the European Championships 2013 in Rotterdam. Won gold out there, 5 fights in 5 days. So that was a big achievement for me back then, and yeah, it was great. And then stepped on, then tried to qualify for the Olympics, and my goal was always to turn professional. So yeah, now I'm here.
Yeah. And my next question was actually going to be because you had a good amateur career, do you think that made your goal to go pro easier? But it must have been because you wanted to go pro as well. That may have made it a lot easier for you.
Yeah, well, I always wanted to go pro, but I think you definitely need experience. You definitely need amateur experience. I always say people always ask me for advice on people starting out, and just get in and train and practice as much as you possibly can and enjoy it as much as you possibly can, because the more you enjoy it, obviously, the more you practice, and the more you practice, the better you get. So, I definitely think you need some sort of amateur experience and some sort of previous fights before going professional.
Yeah. And then you went pro then, signed with MTK, and you fought in your debut. You won in round one, which is
Yeah,
unbelievable in your professional debut. How did that feel
yeah.
to win your professional debut for a start?
Yeah, it was big for me because obviously, like I said, for my whole life, since I started boxing, I always wanted to turn professional. So to turn professional was one thing, but then to get my debut, and it was on a small hall show, but I probably brought, like, it was in Belfast. I probably brought maybe 200 odd people up from Naas, from Kildare, and it was a big night for me. All my family, all my friends were there, and to get the knockout in the first round, then as well, obviously the place went wild. So yeah, that was a big night. It's a memorable night for me in my career for sure.
Yeah. And whenever I was doing research about all your past fights, your first three professional fights were in like 3 months. So are you the type of fighter who just loves to keep fighting, or would you rather have the big long camp?
Nah, I would fight. I would fight every week if I could. I would go. That's the only thing I hate about not being amateur anymore, is the fights are quite spaced out.
Yeah.
I would as soon as I fight, maybe on a Friday, I'm back in the gym the week after. You do need time to de stress and stuff as well. Obviously, camps and fighting is very emotional, and camps are it's a lot of build up, and it's a lot of stress in your body. So you do need to take time, obviously, to recover. But as soon as I'm recovered, I'm back in the gym and I'm ready to go a couple of weeks later. So
Yeah, yeah.
I'm someone who likes to always be active.
Yeah, and you won your first professional title, the vacant Irish title. So it was in round one as well. You have a lot of
Yeah,
quick stoppages, so you do in your career so far against Joe
I'm a
Frost.
quick starter.
Yeah, that's it. What way can I put it? How did it feel first of all just to win the professional title for you?
Yeah, it was big because, especially the title that it was the Irish title. It's a very prestigious title, and I always said before, when I was turning pro, I wanted to go
The
the
Olympics.
route of Irish European then world. So Irish was the first step in doing that, obviously. So yeah, to win that was massive for me, to get the ball rolling in starting winning titles. And obviously, like I said, I wanted to go that route of being Irish European and world champion. So
Yeah, and what I was gonna say about lockdown for you during the whole COVID thing. How was that for you trying to train and all that different stuff?
I just took it as a training camp. Really, obviously there was no fights going on, but we could still get to the gym because the gym's only down the road for me, and we were allowed in the gym as it's professional sport. So I trained twice a day, every day, Monday to Friday. Took the weekends off to rest and recover, and did that for maybe 6 or 7 months straight. I think I made a lot of gains in my career, on a lot of people switched off for a while, and all lockdowns, nothing happening, and kind of felt sorry for themselves a little bit, whereas I took it as a training camp and a chance to improve. So I think I made massive gains. Lockdown was a massive plus for me in my career.
Yeah, yeah. And then you won the WBO European title in Dubai. Do you enjoy the traveling side of boxing?
Yeah, I've been around the world with boxing. I remember going to travel to Russia and stuff as an amateur back in the amateur days. Training camps over there and stuff. But I've been around the world with it, so it's definitely a big plus. Or it's definitely a perk of the boxing. You get to see around the world. So yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Then your most recent fight against or you on Mick Conlon and Lee Wood's undercard.
Yeah,
A big fight itself. It was one of the best fights I've ever seen live. Did you stay and watch that fight?
literally, it's the best fight I've ever seen live.
Madness.
Yeah, I stayed for the main event. It was unbelievable. What a fight! For for the amount of Irish people that came over, for Mick to be 90 seconds away from becoming world champion, and then the ending in the end was absolutely crazy. But yeah, it was definitely the most entertaining fight that I've ever seen live.
Yeah, and that told shows on Matchroom as well. Do you think that obviously made you or you impressed enough in that fight to get signed from Matchroom and Eddie Hearn like you are now?
I think so. I always aim to put in massive performances. I always aim to impress and to put in big performances. But because obviously it was on Eddie's show, I kind of took it as a trial that if I impress here, it could lead to a contract opportunity or more opportunities in the future. So yeah, definitely, I aim to put in a big performance in front of Eddie, and I did just that, and obviously turned his head. So yeah.
Yeah, and the last question is, what's next for Gary Cully? What do you want? Who do you want?
I want the biggest names. Lightweight is stacked at the minute, so I've plenty to choose from. I want all them big names who's at lightweight. I want world titles. That's why I'm in the sport. I joined boxing with ambitions to be a world champion. So I'm not. I won't stop until I reach that. I want to change my life. I want to set my kids up for life, and I want to bring big time boxing back to Dublin eventually as well.
Yep,
So I've lots of plans. Lots of plans. I'm only getting started. I'm only 26, so yeah, the next couple of years are going to be big for me.
yep. Gary, I can't wait to see you out next. Thank you very much for coming on, mate. I really appreciate it.
Appreciate your time, pal.
Thank you very much.
Anytime.
See you later.
No, we'll chat to you
Thanks.
soon.